Hey, what's up, you guys? Today is my January favorites video. Oh my gosh, January was such a crazy month. First off, I was just like home for the whole month of January, which was weird to me because normally there's like a class that you can optionally take during January, and usually I take it, but this was like the first year that I've ever not taken it, so it was weird to just like have that amount of time just off to do whatever I wanted. Secondly, my Walmart job that I like loved having, that Walmart that I worked at was one of the like 100 or so throughout the country that got closed down, along with I think 3 other Walmarts in Wisconsin, so 4 total. And so the shifts got cut, and like it was really sad because I had to say goodbye to everybody, and like, you know, I'm never gonna hardly probably see those people again. So that was really heartbreaking to me. And then I got super sick throughout the last like week or so of January, and I was having like really bad stomach pains. I still have them. It still is not resolved as to what was going on. But I had to get a CT scan, which is something I've never had done before. And to do that, they have to put an IV in you. And so I have like a multiple like little bruises from like where they tried to put the IV. And the whole situation was just really weird, and the fact that they didn't find anything, like, kind of sketches me out, because I'm like, you know, obviously there's a pain, why is it hurting, you know? So that's slowly been going down. Like, I still get the pains, like, every once in a while, but, like, you know, it's not nearly as often as it was during January, so we'll see how that goes. So, that was all the things that happened to me in January. Let me know down below if you had any like crazy start of the year experiences. But today we are here to talk about makeup products, so that is what we're going to do. I have a lot of things actually. I left out a lot of things too because during January I was at my house with a limited amount of makeup that I could use, and so clearly the things that I brought with me are things that I really like. So I left out a couple things that I've talked about in previous videos. I think maybe some of these things in here have also been talked about previously, but they're things that I actually really, really liked. So I'm just going to get started with the probably most boring thing in this list, and it is the Urban Decay Grindhouse Pencil Sharpener. This sharpener is amazing. People talk about this all the time because the blades are super sharp and it like really sharpens your cosmetic pencils. It's so good compared to the junky ones that I had before. So yeah, there's not much to really say, but it's a good sharpener. Then I have another kind of tool, and this is the Duo Lash Glue in Dark. This is the brush-on lash glue with vitamins. I have been wearing false lashes a lot this past month, and even in December too for like the holidays and stuff. And I've gotten really good at applying them on myself. I still suck if like somebody else wanted me to help them with it. But this is the lash glue that I use. I like the dark version because normally I'm putting it on top of a like liner. And so with the black glue, it blends in better with the liner. And I also like that it is a brush on, so it's really easy to just paint on the lash band. I don't really have a pair of lashes that I've been loving, but I've been using this glue every time. Then, as far as like other tools, I have 2 brushes. The first one is a brush from e.l.f., and this is the e.l.f. I don't even know what they call this. They used to have the names on the brushes, but they don't anymore on the new line. But it looks like this. It was from some collection they had, and I finally saw this at Target, so I scooped it up. This brush is amazing. I have never had a more like flawless like foundation than when I use this brush. There's a similar brush that looks like this at Sephora for like 30 bucks, and this one was like $6, and it works the same. You can see how short and like stubby the brush is. But basically, you just use this. I just, dot my foundation on like I would. And then instead of like buffing it, you just kind of like paint it on, like just kind of swirl it in. And you get the most like natural, looking like airbrushy kind of, finish on your face. And I think it's amazing. For, the cheaper price tag of e.l.f. products, I think you should just go and try it. Because it's definitely a good brush to have. I think you could also maybe use it for like contouring or something, but I just like to use it for the foundation. And then I love it when there's a brush in your collection that you've had for so long that you don't really know what to do with. You've tried it multiple ways, it hasn't really worked. Then you set it aside and use other things, and then finally something comes along where you're like, I want to use this brush, and you use it, and it's amazing. And that brush for me this month was the EcoTools EcoTools Custom Coverage Buffing Brush. It looks like this. I have had this in my collection for so long. I bought it to use for foundation, but I didn't like how it looked. Then I bought it to use for something else. I don't remember what I bought it for, but it has been sitting at home in my brush container for the brushes that I didn't bring with me. But what I've been loving this with is blending out bronzer. Because it's so flat and it's got that kind of buffing like ability, it's so good at like, just getting in your forehead or just bronzing up the whole face. I usually use it more on the forehead and then kind of carry it down. I mixed up my sides. Carry it down to do like a light kind of contour and bronzing. And I just think this is really, really nice. It's another affordable drugstore brush. And I've been loving this brush with my next favorite, which is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Medium to Deep Matte Bronzer. This is a bronzer I haven't used in a really long time. You can see that I've hit pan on it. But I've been really into using like my contour kits or like other bronzers that I have. But I reached back into this one, or I brought this one home for winter break because I knew that, it's a really good bronzer. And I wanted to start using it again. And that brush blends out this bronzer on the forehead and just like throughout the face so nicely. I use a different brush with this to actually do like a contour, like a harsher one. But just for general bronzing purposes, that other brush is really, really nice. And this bronzer is really good too. It's what I'm wearing today all over my face. And then, let's see. You guys know that I've been loving the baking with the Coty Airspun. I talked about that, I think, in my last month's favorites. Once I have the baking powder on, that sounds so weird. It sounds like I'm cooking. Once I have the powder on, I like to, leave it on for a bit and then brush it away with another powder to make it look more seamless. And throughout the majority of the winter break, I had been using the Hourglass Luminous Light ambient lighting powder. And this is really pretty. It's a really nice, subtle, highlighty powder. And applied right here, when you're wiping away that baking powder, this, makes your face look good. It's glowy and nice. But throughout the last, week of January, my friend and I went to Ulta, and I found this powder, which I had seen somebody on YouTube use. And I used to have a powder just like this in my contour kit, but I finished it, so I wanted to get another one similar to it, and it's the NYX HD Finishing Powder in Banana. This is a yellow-toned powder, and this is what I've been using lately to, get that powder underneath my eyes. It really brightens the whole under eye area. I've been finding that with my being sick throughout the month, my under eye has just gotten really tired looking, because I'm up, not feeling good throughout the whole night. So I've been looking really tired, and so this really kind of helps, conceal that a little bit better. The powder itself is actually pretty soft for a drugstore banana powder, but this really does the trick. I like that it's pressed. You can carry it with you for touch-ups throughout the day, and yeah, this is a really nice powder. Then, I'm not going to stay on this one too long because I know for a fact I've talked about it. This is the e.l.f. blush in Pink Passion. This is a really bright, hot pink blush. I'm not wearing it today, but it blends out on the cheeks so nice. and I hit pan on it during winter break. And it's just really pretty, and it's super inexpensive. It's more probably a summer blush, but I've been really liking using it in the winter time to just kind of add like a nice like glow to the face. And then, speaking of glow, I've been loving the Becca Jaclyn Hill palette. Specifically, the shades Blushed Copper and the Champagne Pop shade. I've been using Blushed Copper for putting over my blush, especially that pink Passion blush I just talked about. It's a really nice, like, coppery blush topper. And then the Champagne Pop I've been using just like right here, and the combination of these two together looks so good. Like, you have the copper one on the cheeks with just the little peachy glow of that. It just, oh, it looks so good. And again, I'm not wearing it today, but this is what I was using like all of winter break. These were the only highlighters I think I brought home. Initially, I bought more throughout like winter break, but initially these are the only ones I brought home, and they were amazing. Then I have a couple other palettes. The first one is one that I bought during winter break, and this is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I have never really used any Tarte eyeshadows before this palette, so I didn't really know what to expect. I knew that the original Tartelette was all matte, and I'm not really into that life. Like, I like a little bit of shimmer on the eyes. And this palette is mostly all mattes too, but there's a couple like random shimmer shades. There's like, I think 3 of them. There's like this lighter champagne one, this kind of coppery one, and then this kind of taupey one down here. And the rest are matte, and so you get a really nice array of shades. You get something that you can just pop on the lid, and then you get other matte shades to kind of finish the look. And I've made so many looks throughout the past January with just this palette, so I know that, you know, I could take this with me, you know, on a trip, and this would all I would need, you know, for eyeshadows. Granted, am I really going to take only one palette? Probably not, but, you know, you could if you wanted to travel light with this palette. So I definitely recommend the Tartelette in Bloom. The regular Tartelette, if you're a fan of matte shadows, you know, go for it. I know my friend that I went to Ulta with, she was really into it, and so she bought it, and she was like, "It's amazing." But I, for one, like a little bit of shimmer, so this would be the way that I would go. And I did go that way. So yeah. And then, an oldie but a goodie, I brought this palette home as well, and this is the one that kind of got me through all of December, and then, you know, the rest of January. I found myself, anytime I used any shadow from any palette, always going back into this palette to like throw in some supplemental shades. So I figured I'd mention it, and it's the original Too Faced Chocolate Bar. This palette is like a ride or die palette for me. Like, I can always get, you know, decent looks with, oh my god, excuse me, with this palette. I actually hit pan on this shade here, Salted Caramel. This is my favorite shade in the palette for transitioning. And I hit this shade, or hit pan on this shade over winter break. And I never hit pan on palette shades. So now I have 2 shades in this palette that I've hit pan on. So that's kind of cool. But I really, really like, you know, the Salted Caramel shade. I like these matte browns that are in here. I like these kind of plummy burgundy shades. I can always, you know, get a look with this palette. If I'm going home for the weekend, then I'm only bringing like 1 palette, and this is usually the one that I tend to pack. So yeah. And then 2 more eye products. The first one is the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Liner. I don't really have much to say about it. It's a really good liner. I just know that when I first got it, I wasn't really a super fan of it. I didn't like how stiff the tip of the brush is. But I've grown to love it, so that's what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. And then the NYX Wonder Pencil in the color Fair, or actually no, in the color Light. I've been using this for cleaning up my brows if they get a little out of control when I'm filling them in. I've been using it for the waterline more recently, and it's really been like just opening up my eyes. It's just a really nice pencil. You can use it for concealer, it says. You can use it as a lip liner. You can use it as an eye brightener. So yeah, there's a lot of uses for this. It's a really nice pencil, and they come in, I think, 3 or 4 different shades. Now, I have some random, like, non-makeup favorites. The first one is this hand cream from Soap & Glory. Basically, all of Soap & Glory's stuff that I have been loving. But this is the hand food. I just love the smell of this. Honestly, this hand cream is not that special. Like, I have other ones, or I've used other ones that are more moisturizing than this. I just really like the smell of it, so I just love using it. It smells like sweet marshmallows, and it's so nice. I love it for that. And then my last kind of favorite is my new bag. You may recall during my What I Got for Christmas video that, or did I put that up? I think I put that up. Yes, I did put that up. Okay. What I Got for Christmas video, I got a new bag, but then I was at Torrid and I found this bag and I was like, you need to come home with me. And it looks like this. It's a pastel kind of baby pink color with like rose gold hardware on it. It's got this super, super long chain, which is just like the pastel pink like leather with like the chain wrapped around it. That's really gross. There's a fake nail in there. But it's got all these compartments. It's super deep. Like, I have multiple little like makeup bags in here with different like things that I need. So maybe I'll do a what's in my bag video, but this is like really nice. I like this front pocket. It's easy to just like slip your phone in or something. And there's little compartments and stuff. I've really been loving this bag. The only thing is, this was too big for my work locker, so I had to like cram it in there, which I didn't really like. And also the fact that it's like this pink color makes it like get dirty real quick. Like, I can already see like the seams have a little bit of dirt on them, maybe from like, you know, being up against like my jeans or something when I sit down. But regardless, I think this is a really nice purse. And yeah, I think those are all my favorites for the month. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's like lip products and stuff, but I don't really remember because I was using, you know, all kinds of things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video regardless. If you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know down below what have you been loving throughout January, and how has the beginning of your year gone? Because mine has gone pretty shitty. Like, I hope it gets better come, you know, the rest of the month. But with that being said, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.